you have done validates what we stand for at the Fix My Business Bootcamp. If you did not come, then what we'll be sharing today will not accomplish what it was meant for. So I want to say thank you so much. So put your hands together for yourself. All right, thank you. You can sit down now. I want to use this time to thank my billionaire friend, billionaire UC Judge. I want to thank him for the gift of friendship. I met him in this Fix My Business Bootcamp, the very first edition that we had in 2023. And I was so amazed by his humility. We have grown now. That time we were using a small place for the Fix My Business Bootcamp. Now we are here. And when I asked him, or should I say a request from him that I needed him to speak, I don't want to say what I want to say next so that it will not spoil his business, but he opened his heart to me. You all can testify of his session, right? He's the productivity director. Please put your hands together for him. Then another person I want to recognize especially is my mom. She has been supportive. She's the one that has made it possible for us to have free pass. Most of you came here on free passes, right? We had tickets and there were free passes. She's the one that made it possible for each and every one of you to come here on the free pass. So please put your hands together for her. Then I want to thank my friend Erasmus. We met online and he gifted me his friendship, and now we are here doing big things together. So please put your hands together for him. So because of time, I might not be able to individually thank every other person, but you see those people that are sitting here, yeah, they'll get to interact with you. So please, thank you all for coming. God bless you. So today we'll be talking about the CEO mindset, thinking beyond survival. You know, survival is very, very basic. But when I'm thinking about triumph, it means you have conquered the fact that, okay, let me put it this way. There's a friend of mine that told me something. He said, if you want to build something that is very, very important or impactful to people, you need to settle your need for food and your need for housing. All right? So when you settle your need for food and settle your need for housing, you have automatically left that survival instinct. Imagine that you are renting a place and you have to constantly think about your rent. It may not allow you to think of hosting programs like this if you wanted to, something like I'm doing right now, right? So you need to fix that. So why is mindset important? Why is mindset important? I learned from Pastor Chris, from his book, The Power of the Mind. He said that every issue of this life, every issue passes through your mind. Your mind is the faculty of your being, all right? When we talk about mindset is a bit different. Mindset is like the sum total of all your beliefs, all right? They include what you believe, they include your mental models and all of that, all right? So it's important that as business owners, you are a business owner, right? It's important that you take care of your mind, all right? It's important that you take care of your mind. So we're looking at how to train your mind to see possibilities, not problems, with focus on decision making, emotional intelligence, and long-term thinking. So you guys already know about me, all right? I model growth, I'm a thought leader. Sometimes I tell stories, all right? And I'm also into marketing. So let's have our icebreaker. That is the third slide. Let's have our icebreaker. So many business owners are not failing because their ideas are bad. They are failing because they are thinking like survivors and not CEOs. So I have two things in this particular site to share with you. The first one is a quote by Leona Hone. She said that it is not the load you carry that weighs you down, but the way you carry it. Let me explain it. If you have 100 liters, like a gallon, and it's filled with water, and you have like 3 of them, if you are to carry it with your hand to your destination, how will you feel about it? Then there's another person too that's having that same amount, and instead of carrying it on his head or in the wheelbarrow, he brings a truck and puts it inside there. Who do you think is more effective? Please, I want to hear your response. I just cited one of my friends from school, Mr. Samuel Okon. Thank you so much for coming. God bless you. Please put your hands together for him. Thank you so much, sir. All right. So, like I said earlier, it is not the load that you carry that weighs you down. It's how you carry it. So when you are running your business, there are certain mindsets that a CEO should have. Mr. Afiakurue and my brother here, billionaire UC George, has said it. You need to have systems. Let's go forward so that you can see what I mean there. Then as a CEO, I want to also explain something that one of my friends told me. Beyond focusing on marketing and sales as the CEO, the next thing that you are supposed to focus on is putting yourself in profitable circles. All right, community, profitable circles. All right. There are some things that you will struggle to do on your own. But if you are with a circle, okay, for example, now, I asked about something somewhere, and nobody responded. I just went to my group on WhatsApp. I just asked that question there. Somebody helped me to achieve it. So you see it, right? You can see it, right? So as a CEO, for me, one of the things I do is attending meetings. Why? You know, CEOs, MDs, COOs, and the other ones, the chief level people in the organization, they are not getting paid because they're doing the heavyweight lifting. No. They are getting paid because they are thinking. All right? For someone like me, I'm a melancholic, right? Part of the temperament. And one of the things that is our problem is that we think too much. We always see problems ahead. And I think it helps me in this entrepreneurship, all right? Because as an entrepreneur, you need to be able to see a problem and then provide a solution to it. So we can say that I want to have this boot camp, and then I'm already like, okay, what of water, what of light, what of this, what of that? I'm already thinking ahead of that, all right? So, like I said earlier, the reason why you're being paid for being a CEO or a chief level staff is you thinking. And then another reason, again, why you are a CEO is that you are supposed to provide leadership for your team. Hope you're writing. You're supposed to provide leadership for your team. All right? You tell them and show them how to do the work, then they do the work. All right? So, like I said earlier, as a CEO, attend meetings. All right? Meetings like this, virtual and all of that. And also try to have circles that helps you. Okay? So, the premise. This session, like I said earlier, is about helping you think differently. Not as someone who is trying to survive the month, but as a CEO, building something that lasts. As a business owner or someone intending to start one today, you need to pay attention to what your mind feeds on. All right? Because to win in life, you must be fortified with the right kind of knowledge. Let me explain this one. I called my brother, UC George, some weeks ago and told him that I told him that we're still looking for money to complete what we are doing here. And he was like, why? He gave me encouragement. And today we are having an amazing event. Please don't be in a hurry to leave. We have refreshments for everyone. All right, don't be. Okay. So you have to train your mind and be very, very um, conscious of the kind of knowledge that comes to your mind. There's something that my pastor normally says. He says that when God gives you a vision, that the currency that you need for that vision to thrive is the word go, which you can translate to mean start, right? Just go ahead and do it, okay? And then another thing again that I learned is that for you to be able to accomplish anything in life, you need to be brave. You need to be brave. For you to accomplish anything in life, you need to be brave. All right. So one of my friends, I won't call him a friend because he doesn't know me, Mark Zuckerberg. All right. He said something at one of the convocation ceremonies of the student at Harvard University. He said that every generation has its defining works. All right. Like something that stands out. For example, now I'm building Facebook or building the pyramid in Egypt or inventing anything. All right. It starts from there, right? And again, it starts from an idea. It does not come fully formed, right? And then it also rests on the shoulders of people who are able to lead teams to achieve that. Let me give an example from the scripture. There was this, is it Noah's grandson? All right, I forgot his Nimrod, that is his name. He was able to inspire the people around him to come together to build the Tower of Babel. All right. Now, do you think it's an easy job for you to do that? It's not. All right. So he was able to inspire those people to come together to build the Tower of Babel. If we have the privilege to go back in time and see how it's being done, you will notice that what he did was not the bricklaying job, was not providing mortar for cement and all of that. It was just managing the leaders that are managing the groups. All right. So that is how we say you're supposed to think. You manage, you pay attention to your leaders. If you have team leads, you pay attention to them. If you have project managers, your own job is them. Then those other staffs that you have, allow them to lead them. If they're not doing well, you correct them. If they need to be changed, you change them. All right. So that's what I mean. Let's go to the next one. How to catch yourself in survival mode. This one, nobody's going to tell you that, oh, you are surviving. But let me show you how to catch yourself in survival mode. All right. The first one here is that if you find yourself being reactive instead of proactive, just know that you're in survival mode. What I mean by that is this. When you talk is when somebody does something. That is you being reactive. But if you sit back and you think about, oh, this is what is supposed to happen now. What would I do if this happens? All right? What will I do if this happens? It means that you are proactive. You're not waiting for the problem to come. You're already thinking ahead of it and trying your best to do what? To prevent it or manage it when it comes. The second one here is that you focus on sales, not system. All right? One of my friends, he will soon be here, he was telling me that most investors that you can get are not really funding your business because of profit. They are funding your business because of the vision. I don't know if you get that. Like, they can be with you for like 5 years spending money on your business. They're not really interested about the returns immediately. They just bought your vision. They like what you are doing, and then they are paying attention to you. And just like the Bible says, they are coming together to help your light do what? Shine. All right. So focus on systems, not just sales. So another thing again is you work in the business, not on it. Okay? You make short-term decisions because of your lack of clarity. So I want you to take this home. Survival makes you busy. Strategy makes you productive. Now let's look at the CEO mindset and what it truly means. I've said it already, so I just want to hit them again. The first one is that you see ahead, you plan and not panic. Then as a CEO, you make decisions based on data, principles, and priorities. Let me explain a bit about this data. You know, data is raw information. What we were taught in primary school is raw information that you need to process, all right? So for example, now this event, we're planning for 100 persons, all right? And then we had something that was helping us with our decision, which was the registration form. When we checked the form yesterday, there were about 170 registrations there. So we're like, oh, we're like, oh, people really want to come for this event. What do we need to do? We need to plan for them. That's what I mean by working with data, all right? And then prioritizing, you know the competing priorities. You know the one that's supposed to come before the next one. Just pay attention to it. In summary, what I'm saying here is that you need to be emotionally intelligent, all right? You need to work based on principle and not just how you feel. So let's make a case now. Let's make a case. Imagine two businesses. Let's say they both sell the same thing, all right? Let's say that they are digital agencies or food brands. They are in the same industry, targeting the same type of customer, and even started around the same time. But after 2 years, one is consistently struggling to make ends meet while the other is expanding, hiring, and gaining visibility. The question here is, what could be wrong? What could be wrong? All right? I want you to know that the first business there is focusing on a survival mindset. That one that after 2 years is still struggling to make ends meet. It could be that they are suffering from the survival mindset. All right? So these are the things that that business is doing. They are running ads only when sales are low. They don't have a funnel. You know what a funnel is now? Okay, let me explain it. A funnel and customer journey, they're almost similar. It just shows you what your clients are doing per stage. The first one is always awareness. All right, awareness. Then you can now sell something, and then you bring them in. All right, so that is how it is. So without awareness, you are having a system in place to get leads. Your leads are your customers. Your leads are your potential buyers. So when they come into the funnel, what do you do next? You nurture them with content. All right, you nurture them with content. And once you nurture them with content, you can now start priming them so that you can sell to them. That's what I mean by a system now. But some people, instead of doing all of these things, they just want to rush to get sales. So they just go ahead to run ads. And there's something in my company, we run ads, all right? There's something we have noticed. We noticed that companies that already have something on their pages, that they have been communicating with their audience, all right? They already have something on their pages. We notice that those particular pages do better than us creating a new page, and then immediately we are now running ads on it and all of that, all right? So that is the explanation for that. So I've spoken about this. They have no structure follow-up system. If the lead doesn't buy immediately, that's the end. It should not be like that. I remember when I was having a training with Carrie's Realty Investment, when I was having a training with their staff on sales and marketing. We agreed that when a leads come and they don't buy immediately, you know what I mean by a lead? I mean customers, people that are interested in buying something. So when they come and they're not buying immediately, that should not be the last time that you talk to them. Keep communication going. People see when you care about them, and people also see when all you need from them is just their resources. All right, so let it not be the last time that you talk to them. So let's go to business B. This business B has a CEO mindset. Let me tell you what the person has been doing. Instead of just running ads, they build a marketing funnel, a simple journey that takes them from stranger to awareness to interest to purchases. All right. Then they train a small team to handle customer support. All right. Um, and they measure results, tweak what's not working, and document their process. All right. So let's look at mental shifts from survival to triumph. Let's look at mental shifts from survival to triumph. In the survival mode, what you're thinking about is I must do everything by myself. I must do everything by myself. If you catch yourself thinking that way as a business owner, then you need to reevaluate. Let me even tell you what you should do. What you should do is you should tell yourself that I must build systems that do it. I must build systems that do it. Let me give an example with this Fix My Business Bootcamp. At the beginning, it was just me trying to get everything together. But when my team came, the work became very easy. I could focus on other things, right? I could focus on those other things. Like, you did not see me here yesterday night trying to sweep the hall. People were there that helped me to do it. You did not see me yesterday trying to fix the sound. People were there helping me do it. I hope you get the gist. So as a CEO, you should ask yourself, what systems do I need to have? All right. Even in my business, before I used to be the one talking to like if somebody says they need this particular service, I'll be the one to talk to the person. I'll be the one to follow up. But I had to stop doing that. I got a chief of staff. So anytime those inquiry comes, I just forward it to him. The time that if somebody wants to get a website, I'm the one that is building it. But now, if such request comes, I just channel it to my chief of staff, and he gets the developer on the job. And then I have time for other things. Like I said earlier, as a CEO, it is not your place to do the heavy weightlifting, the physical jobs. Yours is to think and give leadership. Yours is to strive to be in profitable circles. Yours is to attend meetings so that you can sieve through ideas and have an idea of what you can do for yourself. All right. So please, let's take that to heart. The second one is, I just need more customers. If you see yourself thinking like that, just know that you are on the survival mode. What you should do is, I need better customer experience. I need better customer experience. Mr. Pasifreke is an expert in structure. All right. So if you need that, you can always meet him. How you doing, O'Shea? All right. The third thing here is, I can't afford to hire. I think Mr. Isi just spoke about that. You can't afford to hire. Because you can't afford to hire, you have to be the one doing everything in your business. It's not supposed to be like that. All right. At Green Stakes, we have staff. I don't do everything. In fact, when we started in that COVID period, I had to learn graphics design on my own. I was doing the graphics, I was doing other things and that. And I now understood that as a business owner, I need someone to do that for me so that it could take that stress off me. And another thing again as a CEO is, you should not be greedy, all right? I think it is even when you have that ability to share your income with your staff, your income with your partners, and your income with those that are partnering with you to give a particular service. I think God even blesses you more, and then you have time for yourself, all right? The another one here is, I need money now. So what you need to ask yourself is, I need a model that prints money later. Then for that, I can't afford to hire. What you should ask yourself is, I can't afford not to delegate. Your time is important. All right. So let's look at the strategic tools of a CEO. Something in my mind just told me to pause now and ask whether you people know what CEO means. You know what CEO means, right? Chief Executive Officer. The person that is in charge of the business. All right. So the strategic tools of a CEO, all right? The first one is vision mapping. One of the characteristics of a CEO is that you need to be able to map your vision. Let's not be that somebody is asking you, what do you guys want to do in the next 2 months, and you don't have an idea. You should be thinking of that already, because that is your job. I think some I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, I posted on my status that I wanted to help some people create a roadmap for their growth and monetization of their brand. One person showed interest, and we had that conversation, and we spoke. All right. So now he knows what he's supposed to do for the next 5 years. He's not guessing. He's not throwing anything into the mix. All right. He's just following the books, and then if this one is not working, he gets that feedback and then reiterates. All right. So know where you are going. All right. The second one is system thinking. Every problem is a system problem. If you're not having sales, check your funnel. Your funnel is your system. Most of the times, the funnels are automated so that you can sleep and it still works. For example, there was a year, not really, it was this year actually. I wanted to get more people to view my status so that I can nurture them and share products with them later on. What did I do? I created an ebook. That ebook is what I call the lead magnet. Lead magnet is a magnet that attracts lead. All right. Your leads are people that are interested in what you are doing. All right. And the type of lead magnet that you use will determine the kind of people that comes to you. So we just created a small book, all right, and then I asked some of my friends to help me share on their status. All right. So when they do that, people come to my DM. I had this WhatsApp automation app, all right. So instead of me responding to the hundreds of messages that is coming in, the app sends them the next step that they're supposed to do. Where they have to save my number, they save. When they share the post again, I see it, and then I send them another gift again. All these things can happen even when I'm sleeping. All right, so these are system problems. And you know that if you have leads in your pipeline, there's every possibility that you won't lack a sale. So just focus on building systems. All right. So, like I said earlier, one of the strategic tools of a CEO is people leadership. I have already explained it. So you are to build people who can run the business with you. All right. Then the final one I have here is decision discipline. Decision discipline. Let me be vulnerable a bit. Let me be vulnerable a bit. When we started Green Sticks in 2018, all right, anybody that came to me and be like, can I join and work with you? I'll just be thinking in my mind, I was like, oh, let me just accept the person. I was working based on emotion. But now we have streamlined our process that if you cannot deliver what we want you to deliver, then we need to part ways. Or we need to just pause you for a while. All right? So don't let emotions drive your direction. Please say this after me. Don't let emotions drive your again. All right. So are you promising me that you'll do that going forward? All right. So let's look at the last slide. Faith and focus, the spiritual dimension. Faith and focus is the spiritual dimension. For those who know me online, I'm very, very vocal about my faith. And I'm also a minister of the gospel. All right. So I want you to know that even God builds with strategy. So who are you not to build with strategy? He understood that if he was to make elephants, if he was to make me, if he was to make you, then there has to be land for you to stand on. He created that one first before creating those ones. All right. So strategy is like you having a step-by-step guide what to do before going to the next one. All right. So that's what I'm saying there. He didn't guess. Creation was not chaotic. It was sequential. All right. So you need to be organized and precise to follow in his example. These are the things I want to leave you with. The first one is I want you to hear God, but also plan. You have heard God, plan. All right. I want you to pray, but also prepare. Don't just pray that, God, give me 1,000 naira Sorry, $1,000. I think that's bigger. $1,000. And then you don't have an account that can receive $1,000. It's wrong. I think there was a time I even made a post on one of my communities. I was telling them that for some of you, your capacity has not reached the level for you to have 1,000 reactions on your followers. That you should own that journey because that time will come. If you don't have, okay, there was this time that people were always rushing to get people's contacts to fill their phones. They notice that once they get to 15,000 views or 15,000 contacts, their phone begins to hang. All right. So when the phone now start hanging, you now have to now start planning to get a bigger device. But if you understand that you need to build intentionally, you know that it's not everybody that's supposed to get your contact. People that are supposed to get your contacts are worth it. For example, in 2022, I don't even know Nathaniel Disu. I talk about him a lot. All right. So he had this event, How to Retire Young and Rich Bootcamp. Nathaniel never shared his phone number anywhere. It was when I made that interest that I want to come for the bootcamp, and I paid money. That's when I got his contact. So you should have different places where you store your community members. You can have some of them, like me, I'm more active on Facebook. So I have most of my community on Facebook. I still have smaller groups so that I can attend to them. Imagine me saying that I'm a pastor and I'm pastoring 1,000 persons without cell leaders or any other thing. It will be very stressful. Everybody will want to call you. Everybody will want your attention. And humanly speaking, you will not be able to do what? To handle that. Even Moses had to learn from his father-in-law. All right. So just like I said, pray, but also prepare for the blessings. You cannot be praying for rain to fall and you don't have an umbrella. It will wet you, right? Okay. So that's it. Then finally, I want you to believe, but also build. Believe, but also build. So I noticed something. If you are trying to get my phone number from this, please change the last digit to 6. All right. Thank you very much. God bless you.